Oh, on Monday, when you're not here, you can use this if you're live with me, right? Yep. Right. I know. I'm just saying it'll be a culture of the classroom that we do this. But I actually don't need to show you that. So how do I extend? Yeah, it's me. So now that's there because I want to show you a document. Can we share paper? Can we rip out a few pages for those who didn't? Do you guys have pencils? Sharing? Don't share. Sharing is not caring. That's right. Yeah. I'm going to pull up a document. Sketchbook paper, yep. Do you have color? Do you have pencil crayons? No, obviously, if you don't. Yeah, take out your pencil crayons too. Sorry, I should have had this document ready, but my bad. Jeez. Yes, smack them on there. Both. Yeah, you'll need both. Okay, so can you see? Oh, ooh, that's another thing we need. All right, so y'all gotta see this. Usually by now, feels like there would be leaves, yellow leaves. I guess there's a few leaves. Those trees are really beauty in fall. So, yeah, I want to talk to you about trees for a bit, and you're gonna do a tree drawing on that paper. Did nobody share with you?
Oh, I can share.
You can share. Nobody shared with you either.
Here. I'll share.
Sure.
No, I don't even have this paper. Okay.
Bring your sketchbook. Okay, so we one more. I want you to draw a tree. I want you to take up the whole page. Well, it's up to you. The assignment is draw a tree that represents you. So as I'm talking about it, and I want to express some things with this slideshow. I don't know. Let me see if they can see this. Where's my? Yes. You can give it a few shots, but this is not like your final assessment, whatever. This is just an exploratory thing. You don't have to use pencil or pen. If you want, you can go to the back there and find some supplies. There's pastels back there, there's chalk pastels. There is paint, but again, I don't want this to take forever. The paint tends to take a while. And so what I'm going to do is, as you're thinking about what you could draw and how to represent yourself, I want to talk about maple trees, maple syrup. Okay, so this is the certain kind of tree that you see a little bucket there. And you know syrup comes from trees? Crazy. You're drinking tree sap, or you're putting tree sap like goo on your pancakes. I don't know if you like syrup. I like syrup. I go through about a half bottle for one pancake. But hey, you know what? There's only a certain time of year where that sap really flows. And so I want you to think about yourself in a tree metaphor, because this year, way more than last year, you're going to need to depend on your own sap. Okay. So yeah, feel free to start drawing, because this will be an assignment you got to turn in. I'm going to talk to you about your tree, talk to you about your own creativity, and you're trying to express that through your tree. I've had people who haven't used anything traditional with their tree. They went back home, they started cutting out like felt and paper and whatever. Another person actually stuck. Oh no, that wasn't this assignment. One time a guy came back with a squirrel pelt. That was a different project. Okay, anyway, so check this out, check this out. How does sap flow? So, can I zoom in? No, okay, fine. At night, the temperature falls to near or below freezing. You actually only get sap out of a maple tree, I think, in fall, maybe in spring, but it's right at that time where the temperature is around 0, right? So at night, the temperature falls close to freezing, and then there's a negative kind of pressure that pushes the juices up out of the roots, the moist juices, up out of the roots to keep the tree alive, right? To keep the leaves and whatever else like from freezing solid, right? So there's this negative pressure, and all that goes up here. And then during the day, when the sun's hitting it, warms it all up again, tree relaxes, and the sap starts coming down. And that's the time to spike it with this little thing, and you get your bucket there, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spike it. I'm going to spike you. I know, right? But I want you to see how there's a flow. And when it comes to being creative, whether it's problem solving or creative like visual arts or dance or music, you'll notice that there's this thing called writer's block, or I'm stuck. And then these artists do stuff to get themselves out of that block. I just got to reevaluate. I got to think differently. I got to go on a trip. I got to eat a sandwich, whatever. Sandwiches are good. So it's about getting that flow going. And this year, hold on, here's a question. How many buckets of sap does it take to make 1 liter of syrup? Not just liter buckets, but 10-gallon buckets. So a gallon, yeah. Like, a 5-gallon pail? 5-gallon pail? Right? So 2 of those, 10 gallons of sap, of tree blood, to get 1 liter of syrup. Well, I want you to think about it that way. Because at times, when I'm asking you to do stuff in this class, it's going to feel like you're bleeding to death. Yeah. Hey, you can drop. So I'm going to give you opportunities where we're going to harvest what's inside you. What's inside you is different inside the other person. Your experiences, your memories, your feelings, how you see the world is unique. And that is what we're trying to get to this year. Last year, you weren't supposed to even really think unique. Somebody did this, somebody took this picture, you draw it and make it look the same. This is like leaving that far behind. You might still do some realistic stuff, but especially in the abstract world, you want to tap into what's important to you and the way you see things. So, but this is one of the hardest things to understand. And I talk about originality. I talk about coming up with lots of ideas. And this is one of my most famous little stories here. I talk about no carrots. I don't want carrots. Okay? So if I ask you to turn this into a drawing, what could it be? Hair. What else could it be? Waves. Mountains. What? Teeth. Grass with carrots underneath it. I didn't say anything. I didn't give you any rules. I just said, what can you draw it as? So when it comes to being original and creative, how else could you look at this? Besides teeth, hair, carrot. Well, actually, carrots is pretty unique. Because you don't see the carrots, they're under the grass. Yeah. How, like, if you could think of a way that nobody else would think, what could this be? Russian handwriting.
Their handwriting is pure scribble.
Okay, you're 2 for 2. This is a circle.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you really zoom in to that line and you just really microscope in, you'll see that it's actually, it's the edge of a circle. Okay, so let me tell you another quick story. I'll come back to the trees in a second. When it comes to being unique, I talk about this story of carrots. I was in intro psychology in university, and my professor gets on there. There's like 500 people in this big auditorium, and he comes on, Dr. Altemeyer, and he says, "Welcome to intro psychology. I am a psychic. I can read your minds." And we're all like basically adults there, right? It's like, okay, yeah, sure thing. I was at the back doodling on my desk. And he's like, "I'm going to demonstrate my psychic powers now." And he pushes a button, and this big screen, like huge, as big as this wall, this big screen comes down. And then he says, "I'm going to ask you a collective question, and collectively you're going to project your thoughts through your forehead, and you're going to imagine this visual on the screen, the answer to my question. So, are you ready? I'm going to warm up my psychic powers now, humana, 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 humana." And then he says, "I want you to think of a vegetable, and I want you to project that vegetable on the screen." Okay, there's actually a whole game show based on this. And so everybody's sitting there, and he's like, "No, no, no, some of you are doing tomato, and that's wrecking it because a tomato's a fruit, and the picture's not clear." Okay, I'm reading your idea, and you're thinking of a carrot. I kid you not, the whole auditorium was like, "Oh." I was not, because I was thinking rutabaga. Kind of angsty, right? I was thinking rutabaga. I was thinking something completely different because that's kind of what I wanted to say. I always want to be a little different. I don't want to say what everybody else says. At the end of the course, he, in fact, came clean and he said, "I'm not a psychic. It's just the law of probability. It's a very popular vegetable. And the game show Family Feud is based on the idea of most people responding a certain way." I don't want carrots in this room. I keep holding this up because there's carrots. I don't want carrots as ideas in this room. I actually love carrots. So when this comes across as a circle, everybody kind of goes, "What?" When it comes across as this is carrots underneath grass, people go, "What?" And the what is what draws people into your art, right? So unique creative ideas usually means, check out this. If this is the first bucket of syrup that came out of your idea generation, I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. Oh, I could try this. Oh, I'd love to do this. This is your first idea. I usually don't want it. It's probably a carrot. I want to draw the face of my favorite music star. Okay? And so what I ask is, give me more. 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 10 liters of sap. Okay? So that takes time. There's some frustration there because I'm going to take a risk here and say most of you, when you've been creative, you just sit, "Oh, I got a good idea," and then you go. But I want to keep drawing away. I want to keep asking you, what else? What else could you do? What else could you do? Okay, so there's going to be a push for more syrup. Then there's going to be a push for how you turn that sap into syrup, which, by the way, you put 1 gallon in a pail over a burner and you just reduce it. You just steam it off, not burn it, but you just steam it off. And then once it's a little thin there, you add your next gallon and you add your next gallon. So literally on this tray, you evaporate 10 liters of sap to get 10 gallons of sap to get 1 quart or 1 liter of syrup. And that is a process of working on your idea. and trying to get it to a place that is really sweet. Okay, at the bottom. Oh man. Yeah, this is me. Give me more. Please do not compare yourself to other people. I say that, but it's totally natural that you would. I compare my art to other people, and I think I have a very messy style. And then other people are like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." Danny Hebert used to teach as an EA here at the school, and she's an amazing, realistic pencil drawer. And I thought, "Oh man, those lines are so sweet. How do you get so accurate? That looks just the same." And then she would compare with me, and she would say, "Oh, how do you do that with all the color and paintbrushes are crazy? How do you do that?" Everybody's got a flavor, right? Appreciate your own style. You're so appreciate how yours might be a little lighter. Your creativity might be a little darker. That's fine. Okay, just respect yourself in that. And I'm not going to talk about Crown Stay, but on your drawing of your tree, I want you to think about, and I want you to show me 3 parts. I want you to show me 3 parts on your tree, and I'm going to actually stop talking and let you start drawing and stop listening to me. 3 parts to the tree. I want to see that trunk and what quality of trunk it is. Maybe it's a little sapling, maybe it's this big gnarled old thing, maybe it's been hit by lightning, whatever. I want to see how the branches connect with each other. I know this doesn't look like a tree, but I'm trying to avoid giving you ideas. Branches. I want to see what kind of, what would you call it? Leaves and fruit you may or may not have. And I want to see what kind of root system you may or may not have. So 4 parts to your tree. Sorry, I added the fruit. Yeah, 4 parts to your tree. And I'm going to pause this YouTube thing, and I want to give you maybe 15 minutes to get a good start on that. Okay? Questions about your tree drawing? I'll take out some materials at the back if you want to use those. How many what? Dude, it's not important. I'm recording it for the other kids. Yeah.
But it has to like,
It represents you.
but it has to have all the vegetable tree. Like, it has to have like the leaves.
Well, what, like it has to actually look like a tree instead of drawing yourself?
So like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, make it look like a tree. People should say, "Oh, look at that tree." And they might say, "Oh, that's interesting the way that tree does this." Yeah. You should draw. Put your music on because I'm going to put on mine. I'm also going to come around and talk to you about your totems if you have one or don't have one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just supposed to be all white.
In one way, your other life. Oh, perfect. How did you make it? Let me explain how I want to. We are going to, we're going to count the items. 20, 30, 50, 60. This is like your last possible, right? And that, I think, the problem is that it's like, how do you show with this letter? How do you show that way? If I think about like, shape, and let's say I can't remember what I do. Oh, why is that one like over I did. Oh, okay, so nobody's going to get that picture. Wow. I'm going to figure out. You know, like, I need a metaphor. So in that way, the other thing is getting, that's like, and we can show that this one. Yeah. So I'm going to say, good. You know,
Oh, yeah, I do have one.
you do?
Yeah, I did great.
Oh.
I need to print it out.
Yeah. The color. Sweet. That's great. Yeah, do that. So let's perfect. We're going to use the ulcer.
What different branches symbolize here?
I need you to go something that's the first layer.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. The actual object of the you know what? My room. Photo? Okay. You can print it. Yeah, go ahead and print it. I would use oil, but you can use chalk if you want.
What do the branches symbolize again?
Not telling. Make it simple as whatever you want. It usually ends up very. That helps me teach. Art. Hey. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just bring it next time. I'll see if I can find it. Do you need it right now? No. No.
I am working on another thing.
Okay. Yeah, another 7 minutes. You don't finish?
Go happen.
We still have the night.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Oh, I guess that's very. Looks like everybody's inspired so far. Come on, man. Okay, another minute, then we're gonna move on. Oh, well, it's gonna be what it is. Okay. Are we missing someone today? Somebody's quiet. Okay, I will give you more time to work on your tree. Asking people at home. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on referring in a weird way about you as a tree, especially after looking at your drawing. And I want to build up a kind of a diving board for you and I to have conversations about your creativity, because it's completely different from other people. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I want you to feel released to create in your way. And the more you feel comfortable with some of that weirdness and the freedom, the better you're going to be at abstract art. Okay? So we're going to move on. I want you to get onto Google Classroom for a second. And if you don't have your Chromebook, I do have a paper copy of what we're doing. And I'm going to introduce you to the world of abstract art in a very slow and controlled way. Connectivity. Try somewhere else in the room. Because they redid the access points, and it's not as good as some places. Well, there it is. Nice. I'm going to insert. Okay, so on Google Classroom, there is an assignment called The Show That Rocked America. And I'm just updating that so that I have both sides of the paper. So maybe refresh now. Oh, I should probably pull it over there, shouldn't I? Whoop, so you can see. Okay, so we're going to do this in class together, but those kids at home today are actually doing this at home. See how that works? Then I don't have to reteach everything and lose half my class time. All right, and so on Monday's class, whether you tune in live or whether you do it on your own time, you can scroll through the video and catch when I'm actually talking. And we're going to keep talking about, probably finish off this article, go over your answers to the questions. And then I was even thinking of having, do you guys know what a Socratic circle is? Socratic circle? No? We're going to sit in a circle and talk about it. I won't talk, you talk. But you got to read this article first. So if you don't like doing it on the screen, the paper's here. And I will introduce, I think you should start with this side, the show that rocked America, and then move on to this side. And if you read the instructions here, it's saying there are questions under certain images. And I want you, not other people, I want you to actually, what do I have here? There's one under this weird boxy thing. There's a 2 under the chicken. There's a 3, 4, 5. I think there's 6 questions in total, kind of hidden under the pictures. It's cool if you do it on paper because then you can actually write in on there and answer stuff right on the paper, underline, talk to the text, that kind of thing, right? But you don't need to. So here's my introduction to abstract art. If you think about your best friend, what conjures up in your mind? Rhetorical question, don't answer. If you are thinking of their school photo, that's kind of weird because no picture, albeit very realistic, no picture captures the whole reality of your friend, right? You are probably thinking of some of those moments in life. Maybe they were hard moments, maybe they were funny moments when you laughed so hard that liquid came out of your nose. Maybe there were those moments that, I gotta remember this place. It's not even their face. It's like a bench somewhere or a couch at their parents' house, whatever. But like abstract art is trying to show that reality. So you got Picasso. Look at some of these drawings. Right? Like this painting here with the woman's face all broken in, right on the other side there. Picasso's drawings weren't trying to show the photorealism. They were trying to show the emotional realism or the spiritual or the inside part that you can't capture with the camera. This guy here, Duchamp, was with this, this is actually a person walking down the staircase. And they weren't trying to show a person walking down a staircase. They were trying to show the movement. The movement. How do you show movement? This was before stop motion photography. He was painting this before a lot of video stuff was out there. So read through the article and keep in mind that abstract artists, though it looks like a mess, they're actually trying to show a different reality to people, not just something you can get on a camera. Okay, so you have the rest of the class to read this article. We're going to talk about it, answer the questions your next time here, right? So you could take this home. It's also on Google Classroom, and I expect that to be all finished and processed. Maybe write down answers so that you have something to say. You guys are pretty quiet because we're going to get in a circle. We're going to talk about it. Okay? Vámonos. Yo. You posted them. I'm going to be really picky on how you do this so much. I want you to turn it on. Sure. Yeah, when it's all done. Okay. So what is this?
Yeah.